Hello everyone, welcome to a Professionally Unprofessional podcast. I'm joined once again by my good friends Reese in the middle and Elliot on the right.
Hello everyone.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so fucking sorry. You have to hear us again. And you're having to hear us again next week. I cannot fucking apologize enough. I'm so fucking sorry for you having to deal with us.
And it's worse, Elliot. You have to hear us the week after as well.
Fuck!
So, on that note, just to clarify things, in case the title of this podcast did not make it clear, we are not talking about the Switch 2 in this podcast. We're doing a whole podcast about the Switch 2 next week.
Yep, it gets its own dedicated one.
Because we also felt that, and if we have time, we might add a bit of a thing about the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set. Because that's not complete.
Which, let's face it, we're only talking about that because you bought them all.
Yeah.
In foil.
He wasted way too much money on that, folks.
Okay, so let's talk about... So, a couple of things. Only one really new release to talk about this week.
Yep.
Annoyingly. So, Elden Ring Nightreign. This it came out a couple... It's not been out that long.
It's been 2 weeks, is it?
Yeah, it came out 2 weeks ago today.
So, so we're just to give it a clarify, we're recording this 2 weeks after the release. It's
I literally just said that.
Yeah. It's an online multiplayer Elden Ring game, kind of akin to Monster Hunter, though it's a little different in terms of the general structure of the game.
Yeah, as much as Elliot hates it, it is most similar to Fortnite, where you get dropped onto a map and you collect your equipment on the map.
I don't think it's that close to Fortnite, if I'm honest, but whatever.
No, I agree.
If you go by game mechanics, it is.
I agree with Elliot on this one. I wouldn't compare this to Fortnite because there's a lot more of a uniqueness to it than that. It's definitely an Elden, but I do like the take of it of you only get the final boss in the third day of each of these expeditions.
If I'm being honest, it's a bit like League of Legends because you're still having to build yourself up you have to build yourself up. And love yourself up as you keep playing.
Yeah, well, my problem is it's more similar to Fortnite.
I think
you get your weapons, you get your potions and everything. Whereas League, that's not really that similar to how you find your equipment.
That does make me want an Elden Ring MOBA now, for some reason. But I will say the one thing about this one is whatever you compare it to, it does feel distinctly Elden Ring in how it controls, like the combat.
Yeah, well, that's because they're literally just taking the formula from Elden Ring.
And most of the assets as well.
Elliot, what is your thoughts on Elden Ring?
Really fun. Well, Elden Ring. Well, it's one of my favorite games of all time. So,
what's your thoughts on Nightreign?
Fun. It's really good. It's fun.
Reese?
Yeah, I enjoyed Elden Ring when I played at the time. Nightreign, I'm not as sold on, considering how weighted it is for multiplayer compared to solo at the minute.
I really, really liked Elden Ring when it first came out to such an extent I'm going to double dip when it comes to Switch 2.
Of course.
I mean, I would comment, but I'm doing the exact same thing. In fact, I'm triple dipping because I have it on PC and PlayStation.
I will point out as well, also it's coming with new content to Switch 2, I believe. But as for Nightreign, I really, really like it, but it's really, really hard, even in multiplayer.
Yeah. It's online that a few of the best Elden Ring players have already done all 8 Night Lords at level 1.
Oh, that does not surprise me. Zero there needs to be a bunch of streams where we solo in every boss.
It's crazy.
I've not done solo, and how many times have you guys got partnered up with people where you think, what the hell are you doing?
Not often.
It happened to me a bit at launch.
Yeah, there was always like one twat who would run off and do his own thing, and then he would die, and then and then you could.
Hey, that's often me, minus the dying.
Yeah, and then there's people who then run off solo and die, then drop out of the match. So you're left with just the other person.
I've only had that happen to me once. I had one time where someone dropped out and then didn't come back.
That's happened to me twice. That was annoying.
And there doesn't appear to be much punishment for doing that.
No.
The game does say it punishes you, that you will receive like some kind of penalty, but I have yet to figure out what that penalty is.
Well, I haven't been.
There's been people who've tested it and they've not been penalised, no matter how many times they've dropped out. So it appears to just be a written warning. And if it actually happens, a consequence.
But the funny thing is, I know, for example, to give another example, another online game where they say if you drop out, it will penalise you. Marvel Rivals, I know it does penalise you because I actually got a letter from Marvel Rivals in game that said, by the way, this person you reported has received a ban from competitive for a temporary time.
Well, you say you received a letter. I thought you got one in the post.
Yeah, it just had written it. It came in Chinese. Cal didn't know how to read it.
Just a personal, like, you have to take it through Google Translate.
I keep forgetting Marvel Rivals is made by a Chinese studio half the time.
Yeah, it's fully Chinese. When it launched, it had a small American studio to help with the launch, and then they got fired.
They all got fired, yes.
Which is always the plan anyway.
But the weird thing is, I mean, okay, so going on to Nightreign, what do you think about the whole mix of bosses from Dark Souls being added in to this whole?
I think it's cool.
It's cool, but there's only 6 out of nearly 100 bosses from Souls. Well, it's 2 each from Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. The 6 in total.
Well, I mean, it is meant to be Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's not really anything I'm gonna complain about.
And also, this could come in future updates. Future updates could say, yeah, we're going to add now a couple more bosses from the...
Yeah, we're going to get DLC. Like, the deluxe edition said, I think you get all DLC with it.
I will say one thing for people, I reckon, I'm gonna put a bit of a pin on this now. I don't think... I'm going to say no bosses from Bloodborne or Demon Souls are coming into the game. And if they do, they will be PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, because it's just such a faff with the rights otherwise.
Yeah, because Sony does hold some of the rights to Demon Souls and Bloodborne.
I'm also going to say no Sekiro bosses.
Yeah.
Here's one thought actually. Do you reckon Nintendo is going to own some of the rights to Duskbloods? Like, there's a similar deal that's gone on there. Or do you think FromSoft are going to say that's a timed exclusive, and we're going to spread that one out?
Well, the developers did say this got the full backing of Nintendo, and without Nintendo, the game would not be made. It won't surprise me.
I imagine.
So that this could remain a Nintendo. So Nintendo could own a bit of the Duskbloods going forward. Okay, so actually, that's another point about this game. How do we feel about the? Do you guys enjoy the PvE aspect and doing the multiplayer? Because I got a real sense of the camaraderie when you get a good team together, even if you lose.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, my only problem is no in-game voice chat or the option for like pre-written text to call out. It's only beacons only.
I don't mind. I don't mind that too much because I think everyone kind of goes in with similar ideas and like similar routes. It's not particularly like, oh, there's like one very specific thing we have to go to over here. No, it's more just churches, buildings to raid bosses. You journey to those together. The rewards are random.
Yeah, the churches are what I tend to make a beeline for when I start.
Yeah, like it's not always like people go, mate, what you do? That place has a great sword. I don't use a great sword. I'm the Wilder class. I use a great sword. No, it's always random.
Also, if you are playing with friends, almost certainly you've got access to Discord.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to do voice chat via that. So I'm not too upset with it, especially considering it's a very simplistic multiplayer game. It's not really demanding like high levels of strategy.
Yeah, and since the map doesn't change outside of certain terrain events, once you explore the map and know it, you pretty much always know it.
Oh, and by the way, all those...
That's something I'm a bit mixed on. I would have liked to have gone to other Elden Ring areas. Like I would have liked to level in Caelid, for example.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, there's not. That's something which
it's all pretty much just takes place in Limgrave, mostly.
Yeah, no, and there's so much more to the world of Elden Ring. I really hope they're going to add more of that as time goes on with the extra content updates.
So it does shift for something called shifting Earth events. Ali, have you got these yet?
Yeah, I've encountered a few of them. Like, I know one had like a volcano erupting.
So there's 4 in total. There's a volcano, and then the next one is the mountain tops of the giants.
Yeah, I remember the tops. I did the tops of the giants thing as well.
I haven't encountered any of those yet, if I'm honest.
I encountered them in like my second raid.
Oh no! I encountered the giants one. That one that did happen. I've had that one happen to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's only happened once.
Yeah, and then there's 2 more, but I won't spoil them. But they do change the environment of the map at least a bit, but not overall.
Yeah, like the volcano one, you just go into pretty much the lava place whose name is escaping me at the minute.
It's supposed to be Rykard's Manor.
Yeah, meant to be the fire manor.
So speaking of which, they really need to do a Rykard event in this game.
Yeah.
That would be really difficult because you need a very specific weapon in the game to kill him.
Oh yeah, of course. But okay.
So... Well, you said that, Ali, but a lot of players didn't know that in the original. About the Serpent Hunter spear.
The other thing
people just killed him normally.
The other thing I've learned is
that those people are clinically insane.
Yep.
And this is coming from a big Souls player.
Even I spotted, like, I'm not great at Elden Ring, and even I spotted that thing was there and clearly was the weapon that we're meant to use.
Yeah.
Because it probably helped that I played Demon Souls when the PlayStation 5 came out, and I did actually know there was that idea of a Souls boss that needs a specific weapon to beat.
I mean, it's done it twice now. With Demon Souls and Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3 has it as well.
Both require the same weapon, actually. Both require the Storm Ruler.
Yeah. It's a cool weapon. What?
And it's only really good in those bosses.
Okay?
Well, it says in Dark Souls 3, people have done full runs with it because it has no stat requirements.
Except I was mostly thinking of like the weaponized thing that it has. It's not great outside the Yorn fight.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I tried it in Demon Souls after I beat that boss, and it was just like, nah, I'm going back to my usual weapons. Yeah,
just the flying manta ray.
Yeah, no, I just went back to my usual spear and shield combo. Okay.
Wait, you didn't use katanas? You're betraying the weebs.
They don't really... Do they have katanas in Demon Souls?
No, I don't think so. I think it's mostly European inspired. So it's like short swords, bastard swords, bows, spears.
Yeah, that's where the Berserk references were major.
Which is funny because the wheel skeletons, they come into Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
It's okay, so what our picks... What are we picking as like our mains on this one? Because I was really playing as the Executioner a lot.
Weeb.
I played.
I was going back and forth between the Wilder and the Duchess.
Which is funny because I was doing the Wilder and the Raider.
I haven't unlocked the Duchess or the one that does the summoning. I haven't unlocked her yet either.
The Revenant, she's called.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked the Revenant. The Revenant yet. You need for the characters, you need a particular item. Like for the Duchess, you need to give her the pocket watch.
So with the Revenants, you don't need to kill a boss to get her item. You just buy from the jar merchant for Merc.
Right.
Oh, now you tell me.
So it should be available after about 2 to 3 runs.
Okay.
It should automatically go out to the shop.
That's the other thing about it. How do you guys feel about the difficulty level? Because I've beaten one of the Night Lords. Elliot, you've beaten...
I've done 3.
You've done 3.
Hey.
And the third one is my 0.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on the difficulty level of Elden Ring Nightreign?
I think it's very appropriate for a multiplayer game.
Okay. My thought process is, though, considering the level of... I think it's fine for the level of content we have now. Yeah. I think when there's more content in the game, I'm going to be thinking, well, hang on, you're locking off so much of this game from me because I can't because of the difficulty level. Can I not turn it down slightly? Could you not turn it down slightly so that I can at least get to some of these more difficult ones?
It's Elden Ring. No,
It's
this Souls game is meant to be tough.
It's funny because Lies of P has added a difficulty level.
Yeah, and that's one of the downsides for me with the DLC. I wish it didn't.
Well, Elliot, it's optional. You don't have to use it. That's the whole thing with easy modes of Soulsborne's game. If they add it, you don't have to use it. It's not meant for you.
Yeah, I don't have to use it. I can still bitch about it.
Why? It doesn't affect you. So that's the whole point. Get the stick out of your arse.
Okay.
It's not for you.
Now, before we all kill each other again, what do you think though about? I actually, with Elliot's point, I feel like the fact it's only Limgrave really feels like a downer at the moment. Like, especially considering how much we saw in that opening trailer.
Yeah.
What do you think about the whole the map slowly constricts with the nightfall? Because I really liked that feature, but I noticed a whole bunch of people would run into it to get their runes back for our stupidity.
Well, it's a popular strat now to actually go through the storm because you only get percentage-based damage. So you can actually tank the storm on day 2 and be fine.
What's your thoughts on it, Elliot?
I mean, I'm always a bitch and I just run away from the storm whenever it starts to show up.
We can
like unless I'm like really close to killing a boss, I just leg it. Like I need to get my souls, or I'm like legging it to a church.
I'm just at that point. I just think, right, sod it. I can get the runes back in the morning when we beat the boss. I don't need it right now. And if I'm not, and if I do think it also works for the one thing that surprised me when I installed the game was the file size. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Well, it does make sense because the game map is so much smaller than Elden Ring.
Yeah, so it's only like one area.
Has anyone tried to dive into like how? Because this is a prequel to Elden Ring. Has anyone dived into like what's going on in it?
So it's not a prequel; it's a spin-off. It's set in an alternate universe.
Oh,
it's explained in the journals. So Nightreign follows the original story of Elden Ring, but once the shattering happens of the Elden Ring itself with the rune, this now splinters off into a separate universe with its own crap. So while we play in base Elden Ring, that goes on its own path. Nightreign is a separate path.
How do you feel about
that's why there's like no mention of Tarnished or anything like that.
Yeah.
How do we feel then about the relics? That whole way of customizing your characters a little bit more.
I think it's cool. Like it gives you a bit more power early on.
I agree. Yeah, I like it. It took a bit of getting used to, but I did manage to get the hang of it.
Yeah, and once you already bought all your costumes, you just spend your merc at the jar merchant for the random relic drops. And that's how some people got the best relics in the game, just spamming the shop repeatedly.
That's pretty much all I've been doing. I've just been getting the random relics.
I haven't really been doing that too much. I need to probably get on that more. I've been just using the ones I get as drops at the end of raids.
Yeah.
Because I just think I'm probably saving my money for something, but I'm not sure what.
Well, it's mostly the relics or costumes you spend your money on.
Yeah.
With the costumes, I think it's like 35 grand, the later costumes. So it's expensive.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about the level of content at release right now? Because I feel it's a bit underdeveloped as a content. They should develop a little bit more.
No, I think we have enough.
Yeah, I agree with Elliot. So at launch, we've got 8 classes to use, 2 being the unlockable ones, and nearly 100 bosses. I think that's a variety.
I mean, we have like a thing 8 night raids.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like. It's like the monsters and Monster Hunter. Some of you meant to go back into over and over and over again to get better and to get better relics and shit like that.
I'm more addicted. I will say, and Reese is probably going to hate me for this one, but I'm more addicted to this than Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
I wasn't not Wilds. Wilds. Yeah. I wasn't huge. I think we said at the time we weren't hugely into Monster Hunter Wilds, and not much of what's come out of it at the recent memory has made me want to go back.
Yeah, so some of the time updates have been fun, but they've crashed the PC ports with the latest update. Oh, so all the Steam reviews now are like mostly negative.
Oh yeah, Jesus! That PC version is having no luck whatsoever.
Yeah, so in latest update, they added Akuma as DLC to bring in a new 15th weapon class. And somehow Capcom screwed up the shaders for the PC port, so everything breaks.
Oh, for fuck's
Yes,
sake.
yes. The reviews for it are mixed at the minute, and recent.
Oh, well, it's actually gone up then since last time.
Well, recent reviews are mostly negative.
Cool.
It's all reviews I'm looking at that are mixed.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is... Okay, so here's what... But I think I will come back to this when more content comes out of it. Would you guys...
What of the legacy bosses have you encountered, like the ones from the other Souls games?
Encountered... Oh, God. I've encountered the one you fight in... The first of the lords you fight in Elden Ring. What's his... The one who says, I command thee, kneel!
Margit.
Margit, I've encountered Margit. I've encountered...
I said the other, like Dark Souls.
I've only encountered the Nameless King.
I haven't even encountered him yet. I fought Smelter Demon, Gaping Dragon, and Centipede Demon.
I will say when I encountered Nameless King, it did give me the shock of my life.
Yeah. I'm so upset I have not encountered him yet. I want to fight that dude so bad.
I was just like,
yeah. Well, I've encountered the other Dark Souls 3 boss. Do you guys want the spoiler for it?
Wait, let me guess. Butterfly armor?
No.
I don't know enough about the Dark Souls 3 bosses to really go on this one.
Gundyr?
No.
Water Boreal Valley?
No.
Dancer?
Dancer.
Hey, it's a dancer. Sick.
So it's Nameless King and Dancer for the Dark Souls 3 reps.
They brought in two of the toughest.
Dancer is a cool one.
Yeah.
Dancer's like one of the tougher of the required bosses.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls 3.
I can't remember which one was one of the Dark Souls 2 reps.
Smelter Demon was one.
Yeah.
I fought him.
Yeah, Smelter and I've not encountered, but I did remember it the other day.
I mean, Smelter.
It's a Duke's Deer Freya, the giant spider.
Yes.
Oh, that one.
Oh, I've encountered Jukestiff Freya. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of kickback was with the initial trailer. It showed off 3 returning bosses. So Duke's Deer Freya, the Nameless King, and Centipede Demon were all in that first trailer. So a lot of fans were going into Nightreign thinking, we're going to have a lot more Souls reps based on those 3 bosses. But all we got in the end was 6.
Yeah, like I can see that happening in the future. Who would I want? I want like some of the tougher ones. I like some of the really tough ones. Sir Gale would be sick.
Sir Gale would be cool.
Because he's my favorite boss in the Souls trilogy.
Yeah.
Ornstein and Smaug would be funny.
Which is funny because we pretty much have them already. It's Godskin Duo.
Yeah. We have Godskin Trio now, don't we?
Yeah, we do now. Yeah.
Don't remind me.
What
about the first boss you encounter in Dark Souls 1? You're the one where you have to jump down.
Demon.
Yeah.
AKA the boss you fight 3 times in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if he came into the game if he's not already in there.
Maybe, but I think ones like those would probably be the world bosses rather than the night raids.
Yeah.
Rather than the night bosses, because I could not, like the Capra Demon, for example, I could not see him as one of the night bosses.
Can I point out the spider boss from Dark Souls 2?
Yeah.
That was one of the worst ones to fight. It was such a bitch to deal with.
Oh yeah, but it's not easy this time because she doesn't have the smaller spiders with her. It's just her by herself.
Yes, she does. She did in my playthrough.
Oh, does she?
Yeah,
so you are fighting Discount Rom.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly because I was like, stop attacking the little ones, start attacking the big ones, you moron.
I do agree with one problem with the people have with this game, which is that it does suck that it's kind of not that suited to single player.
Yeah.
That's your big complaint, Reese.
So this was addressed in not the last patch, the patch before. Well, they now made it for solo players to get 1 free death per night on each of the 3 nights.
Yeah.
And this does stack with Wilder. So you can go down twice in one night.
Yeah. I have also heard some say that they are addressing the fact that you have to play with 3 players. I think they are adding something where you can play with 2 next time.
Yeah.
So that being said, I have only really played with 3 people, and I kind of think that's the best way to play it.
I agree.
Like playing with, like, the more people you play with, the more fun I think it is.
And
Definitely.
I should clarify, me and Reese played on the PlayStation 5 version. Elliot, you played on the PC version, I believe.
Yeah.
How has matchmaking been on the PC?
Fine.
It's not good on the PS5 version. It has major issues.
Yeah, on PC, matchmaking is fine. It can sometimes take like 30 seconds, but a lot of the times it only takes like it doesn't take that long at all.
No joke. Yeah. Day one, it took me one time 20 minutes to get a 3-person team together.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how bad the matchmaking was at launch.
Yeah, like if I was talking to the whole time.
Yeah, I remember saying, I messaged Reese saying, are you having this issue? Because have I done something wrong here? Because I clearly should be matchmaking right now. I think it's been improved in patches, but I do find it interesting that both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 version did have those matchmaking issues, and it was only limited to those versions. There's not been reports that the Xbox version has that issue.
Yeah, which is why most of the time now I just do it solo. It's also more fun for a challenge anyway, to do it by yourself.
I did try solo. I hated doing it.
Yeah. On Mercury, the highest rated version is the Xbox version. Mind you, that only has 9 critic reviews. Because meanwhile, PlayStation has 87, PC has 52.
So those 9 would probably be coming from Xbox dedicated publications.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, so what I feel, without giving away Elliot's review score for this one, how would we would? I think we're all rating this quite high, and we're looking forward to more content. But there's a couple
critic score gave it 77. I put it higher.
I personally score it lower.
I'm gonna go higher. I think 77's too low.
The reason I go lower is that story-wise, there's not that much there. Even the people who've done lore videos, there's not that much there.
I don't really mind that because it's a spin-off. It's not meant to be like a core Elden Ring game. It's just meant to be, I kind of just view it as a mindless, fun multiplayer game.
Put it this way,
more than anything else.
I think I'd be more on Reese's side if this was like if this is what Dustbloods turns out with next year. Because that is designed to be like a new mainline Souls game that's being done by the A-team. Like Miyazaki is working on this one.
Yeah.
But the fact this is a spin-off means I'm more in Elliot's view on the lore. Right?
Yeah, I'm willing to give it more leniency than I would if it was a mainline sort of game.
So okay, so let's. I'll say another thing. I would not score it much higher than 77. I want to point out maybe 81, 82. Because I do wish there was a couple more night raids to do, and I could wish there was a couple more characters. But
whereas my personal score would be more like 7.1.
Okay, okay. So Elliot, we're obviously saving your score because you're writing a review on this.
Yeah.
And spoilers otherwise.
But do you like
spoilers to the 3 people who read my reviews?
But did you like this? Oh no, people really read our written reviews. We get comments all the time about it from guests.
Ow.
I'll tell you right now though, Elliot. What's your thoughts on this? Your final thoughts on this game without giving away your score type?
Really fun. I think it's great. I think it'll probably be like a Space Marine 2, where there's a multiplayer game I can see myself coming back to a lot.
Okay, I could see that one. Right, so
at the very least, I'll be coming back for like every bit of DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that message of, by the way, the DLC's out now. We're gonna give this a go.
One last negative I've got to bring up: no crossplay.
Yes, that's a real bummer. I
thought there was. I looked up. I thought there was.
No, there's no crossplay.
FromSoft has never done crossplay in their history.
I even looked it up this morning. I saw somewhere say that.
There's cross-generation play, not cross-play.
cross-generation, so you can Xbox One and Xbox Series X can play, and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5
can play.
But
PlayStation can't play PC.
Oh yeah, it says it doesn't do that.
Yeah,
that's annoying.
So once the player base starts to die off a bit, it's going to be a lot harder to find matches like years down the line.
Okay, so
I don't see this game lasting years anyway, if I'm honest.
No, I think
I still see this as sort of something that holds us over to the next big Souls game.
Like, let's be honest,
because in my opinion, what FromSoft should do, either implement crossplay or implement AI companions, like in the tutorial.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I also think FromSoft are not really equipped to do a live service game. Like, I know this is the B team making this one, but I don't feel like it's really in their nature to do considering how creative and polished FromSoft is. You have to think at that point they don't want to be doing this for ages and ages.
Just to defend myself a little bit with the Lies of P difficulty thing, my big problems with it are, one, this is DLC included. Basically, they're saying you have to pay extra for the difficulty option.
I agree with that.
Rather than put it in at launch. Especially as, in my opinion, it's almost like they're just screaming to the demands of people who are like just complaining, oh, I can't beat this game, rather than like having it in from the beginning.
I have to...
And secondly, I don't like the fact that it makes you pick it every time you just start up the game.
Right. So, like I said, I'm going to correct you. The difficulty is free in the patch. It's not tied to the DLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fair. Because I would.
Okay. But also, like, because when I opened it, when I opened it to play when we streamed last night, I hit continue and it immediately brought the difficulty options.
Yeah,
I'd rather just like I pick once and then just leaves it at that.
It also really screwed us up a little bit because it redid all the tutorials.
Yeah, it told me twice how to dash.
It's like,
bro, what the hell? I know how to dash, dude.
We're this far into the game. We know how to do this.
I'm about to fight fucking Romeo. Like, who's gonna get like 8 hours in the game and just go, oh, I can run?
So, okay.
Oh my god, this is completely going to change St. Patrick's Day.
I'm glad you pointed that one out, Reese, because I would be completely with Elliot if it had been that you had to pay to get
I just assumed it because it's something I know has changed after the DLC came out.
Yeah.
And after we bought it.
Well, obviously, that's one of the things to talk about then briefly, because we're moving on to like all the game announcements. And one of the things that happened during Summer Games Fest was Lies of P's DLC shadow dropped.
Yeah.
And it was
just completely out of the blue. It's just like what happened with the Oblivion remaster. These companies are doing more shadow drops now.
What I'm finding surprising is these shadow drops are for much bigger games and bigger DLC. Like, I would not have anticipated that the company behind Lies of P would have been that confident to do a shadow drop and have no real major marketing cycle for the release.
Yeah.
It's obviously worked because it's sold very well.
Yeah.
So obviously this would have been E3 season if E3 still existed. It doesn't.
Or because it's been killed by Jeff.
E3 killed itself. Let's be honest. E3 was.
That sounds like a really bad parody of that one Motorhead song, "Killed by Death." Kill by Jeff.
Yeah.
Kill by Jeff. Well, I'll tell you though, right now, I kind of thought E3 was in trouble when PlayStation pulled out. As soon as they pulled out, I thought, right, these guys see no value in going to this thing. And I did hear from one developer that said he believed that E3 would have survived if it didn't allow the public in, if it was just a trade show.
I doubt that.
I would probably disagree.
Yeah.
Like because they let Silent the public in years and years ago. If it was a recent thing, yeah, sure, but they've been doing that for like the last a decade now, at least. So
apparently, if you go there, it was quite difficult to like give your card to someone and say, "Do you want to work together on this thing or to do these deals that you typically would do at a trade show?" So, but Summer Games Fest isn't really fulfilling that with their on the ground event because I've spoken to someone who went there, and he basically said, yeah, it's not a trade show. It is just a try these demos out event.
Yeah.
And they have a lot more demos apparently than what we see in the opening night live.
Yeah, so a lot of people went in as well. While the announcement later was a trailer for Digimon, and people saw that Bandai had a lot of demos set up, not just Digimon, but also the new Tamagotchi game. That had a demo kiosk there.
Oh, that's cool. But there was 3 presentations in the time we did this. Thank God Nintendo didn't have a direct, otherwise we'd have had a 4th one to add to this.
Oh, Jesus. I'm
kind of glad Nintendo's going to wait a little bit to do their next direct. Probably will be next week, knowing our luck.
Yeah.
So State of Play was the first one, and weirdly, I think State of Play was the best one.
Yeah.
Probably.
What would you say, Elliot? Sorry, it cut out a little bit there.
Probably, yeah.
It was, in fact, it had a great start because it had things like Luminous Arise, which was the new game that's being done by the Tetris Effect devs.
Well, the very first game was that Pragmata one, which both Elliot and I forgot about. You had to remind us was from 2020.
Yeah, it got revealed in 2020 at the end of that PlayStation showcase where they revealed the PS5.
Yeah, my one thought was, ooh, Capcom.
It was funny. This got delayed in 2022. They said, we won't have any news for a while. It just said question mark.
Yeah.
And we've not seen this game since 2022. This is a major game from Capcom.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it. Like, obviously the wait was worth it because it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
And hands-on impressions are from the people that actually got their hands on it was pretty good as well. I believe this is a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
I think so, yeah.
It almost looks like their take on Dead Space or something like that.
It does
like Dead Space meets Lies of P, the aesthetic gives me.
And also a bit of Death Stranding in there as well.
Yeah, but with the whole teaming up with a child.
Yeah.
They aged the girl up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've checked out the trailer. It does just say coming to PS5 only.
Yeah, but
unless there's a trailer afterwards I've not seen.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because Xbox did have in their shows other platforms that the games were coming to. PlayStation still aren't doing that.
Yeah. Which is funny, because on Xbox One, the majority of those end title cards did have PlayStation on the majority of them.
Yeah, actually, this is the one thing that worried me a little bit when we saw it. Not in all 3 shows, not a lot of support for Nintendo Switch 2 at this point.
Well, the issue is that Nintendo was not giving out many dev kits.
I've also heard apparently Nintendo might want to announce...
Oh, no, it does have Xbox at the side, underneath it.
Okay.
I just reached the end of the trailer. Yeah, it is coming to other consoles.
So Pragmata is coming to Xbox. Okay.
And Steam. So,
and Steam.
You see Nation rise up.
I find it bizarre then that PlayStation is putting so much emphasis on their version of this game.
Well, yeah. It's their conference.
But I kind of no. It's more the fact it's been only in PlayStation events that I've seen this. I kind of think, why has PlayStation really been? I kind of wonder why PlayStation.
It's coming from a person who regularly says, "Oh yeah, this is a Microsoft event because Microsoft yada 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 yada."
I find it interesting that PlayStation has stuck by this one, considering how much money they've spent for the marketing of this, and yet this hasn't come out in so. Now they have said 2026 is the definite, which is another complaint I do have. I'm not too worried about the Switch 2 issue because I think Nintendo's going to announce a whole bunch of these third parties in Nintendo Direct. Not in fact, one that Nate the Hate leaked, I know, is going to be probably announced in Nintendo Direct. He did leak a big third-party game coming to Switch 2.
Yeah,
it's not one either of you guys are probably going to care about, but he did.
Redfall 2.
You were right.
Halo: The Master Chief Collection 2.
Elliot.
Baby Steps is coming to it.
I will say, actually, Elliot was nearly right in terms of the title.
It's something fall, isn't it?
No, something red.
Red Dwarf. Finally.
Last! I can play as Crichton!
For God's sake.
Well, that's just alienated our international viewers.
Yeah, no, basically.
Fun in the sun, sun.
This will completely give it away. Do you guys like Rockstar games?
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, that's
what it is about.
The second one of those is coming to Switch too.
You just had to ruin it, didn't you? you could have just stopped talking, but you just had to keep going. Look, guys, I listen to a podcast. Listen, I know these leaks. Please praise me.
You don't even.
So it's Red Bully 2 then.
I wish it was more.
I can't believe they're finally bringing over Red Dead Revolver. How awesome is that?
Okay, so, the one that you were really hyped for, Elliot, in this though, your new most hyped game of the year, Silent Hill F.
Silent Hill F. This game looks sick.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this game looks so damn sick.
Yeah, so that was the third trailer, which was quite early for Silent Hill. I thought they saved it more for the end.
Yeah, I would have thought so as well, considering how big a deal this is. A brand new Silent Hill game.
That also isn't part of the numbered series.
It's probably not going to get as much hype as the Silent Hill 2 remake did.
And also, this week, we also got the announcement from Konami that they're working with Bloober Team to make a Silent Hill 1 remake.
Yeah.
Yes, which I said before was my main one. I wanted that instead of Silent Hill 2 remake. But yes, Silent Hill 1, baby!
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Let's fucking go!
All I can say is, after they do this, they have to do Silent Hill 3 then.
And then Silent Hill 4, then Silent Hill Homecoming.
Or in this case, they do 4 first, then go back to 3.
No,
they keep leapfrogging entries.
No,
they completely skip 4 and 3 and do Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
No one in their right mind plays 4 before 3. No one in their right mind likes 4 more than 3.
Hey, 4's good, shut up.
4 is good, but it's not better than 3 in any way. Also...
Careful, Calvin, your bias is showing.
I will say as well, though, I feel like if you were going to do a Silent Hill 3 remake, you had to do Silent Hill 1 first, because that game hits way more in terms of its story if you've played 1.
That's the Silent Hill collection. That was just 2 and 3 on it. They completely skip 1.
Don't remind me, I bought that on Xbox.
This game just looks so... It just looks so damn creepy, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting...
And we also have a hint on like what the first kind of boss monster is going to be from the looks of it.
It kind of... Do you know what's weird? It kind of reminded me of that Silent Hill like mini experience they put on PlayStation 5.
Oh, the...
I think I know the one you mean, yeah. That was actually good.
Yeah, it was, but it
did definitely feel like that flower monster did definitely feel like a precursor to F.
Yeah, so that does make me wonder: is that thing gonna tie into Silent Hill F in some regard? Because the setting is completely different, because it's Japan in the 1960s. We don't quite know if this is gonna be its own thing, or if it's gonna relate to Silent Hill in some regard.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not every Silent Hill game actually goes to Silent Hill. It's more of a feel than the place I think is about.
Yeah, I agree with that one. It doesn't have to go to Silent Hill. I'm curious about what.
To quote Jordan underneath, it's that Silent Hill is a feeling. It's more than just a town.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just wait till we play the game. When we see what the city signs, and then it says twinned with Silent Hill in America.
Yeah.
I mean, one that was really good for you, Reese, Digimon Story got a release date. Oh, Silent Hill F is coming out September 25th.
Yeah, can't wait.
So we're hopping around the states of play now. So the second one that we skipped over was Romeo's a Dead Man. By 51.
We're not doing this in like the order. We're going to just do this a bit back and forth.
Yeah, I'm on IGN's article. Is not all in order.
Oh, I'm on the YouTube, and I've got all the chapters laid out.
So, Digimon Story is out October 3rd. You must be really excited for that one, Reese, because that looks great.
Yeah, looks great. It's building on the former Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory.
Which are games that I like.
We didn't see much of the battle system of it, which was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, so the bits we did see with the photos, and we also got more in the from the Japanese side in magazines. They showed off a few more screenshots. it does just appear to be very similar to Cyber Sleuth and Hackers Memory. But you're 3-on-3.
Reese brought up Romeo is a Dead Man, new game from Suda51.
Yeah, which was very inspired by No More Heroes.
Coming up.
Yeah, like you can definitely tell that the art style's a bit more choppy than No More Heroes is. It has sort of a more, it's kind of still comic book style, but it's a lot weirder.
Yeah, it's also more sci-fi.
Yeah.
There was, and I like.
Kind of makes you think of a Chainsaw Lollipop meets Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess.
Yeah.
One I didn't really. Two games that I like. I mean, I really like to look at this Suda51 game. I think it's he doesn't really miss, and even when he kind of misses, he makes interesting misses.
Yeah, like I reviewed the last No More Heroes, and that was a step down, but there are some interesting elements to it.
Yeah, that was the thing. No More Heroes 3. Not quite as good as the other two games, but it's a very interesting game, if nothing else.
It also stars major performance problems even all these years later.
Yeah.
Counter argument: Travis Strikes Back.
Oh yeah.
That was more of a spin-off.
Yeah, that was still not great.
Yeah, no, I'm with Elliot actually on this
one game.
What about
one I was not expecting that actually got me quite excited. Neo 3's been announced.
Yeah, Neo 3, early 2026.
Yeah, I was not expecting another Neo game, but you know what? I'm excited. I enjoyed the first Neo game quite a bit.
Another one for Reese probably very excited for, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
Yeah, so this is from all the old Midway games. This then when it's NetherRealm Studios. This is way back in the day.
Yeah.
So this is collecting all the 2D games and the first 3D game, which is Mortal Kombat 4.
Yeah, it's an interesting collection, and they're putting in both console and arcade versions of these games,
and also the handhelds with the Game Boy ones.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Awful.
I was about to say we have the fucking handheld version of the game.
You're gonna play that for 2 minutes and then put it away and never do it again.
Yeah, and John Tobias at the end of that did say more games will be coming to this collection as well.
Oh,
you know what that means? Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, let's go.
Yeah, Mythologies Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Of course, Deadly Alliance could come into it then.
Yeah, so if you want to bring in the earlier spin-offs as well, you got Deadly Alliance, Deception, Shaolin Monks, and they probably end with Armageddon, which was the end of Midway, because it then rebooted as NetherRealm Studios.
Yes. So here's the thing though on that one. I like it when they put the handheld games on there, just because I love when collections put in these weird spin-offs and handheld versions that you wouldn't choose to play, but I just like the fact they're there for preservation purposes.
And they're also bringing over the old blood codes, because originally for Genesis and SNES, they weren't allowed to show blood, but the developers put in a code to turn it back on. And it says you're going to die again.
I thought that was just in the Genesis version. I thought the Super Nintendo didn't have that.
Well, sometimes it didn't render properly.
It didn't render properly. That was a big problem.
Yeah. And then on the Genesis version, instead of blood, which they could render, they made it into sweat.
Yeah.
New one.
That's funny to see.
Well, I'm glad you two fighting game aficionados are happy. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting here, suffering and waiting for Soul Calibur 7.
Yeah, because unfortunately, Tekken's been updated, Mortal Kombat's been updated, Street Fighter's been updated, nothing for Soul Calibur.
When are you going to give us it, for fuck's sake?
I feel like they need to do a Soul Calibur collection soon.
Just give us 7.
Have you been enjoying... here's a question, actually, Elliot. Have you been enjoying... I know we said we were saving it to next week. Have you been enjoying Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube app?
Of course I have. A Soul Calibur 2.
So have I. It's probably been the GameCube game I've been playing the most. Proper love it.
Yeah.
But here's one here's two that I really was excited by. Bloodstained Scarlet the Scarlet Engagement, I think it was called. It's a new Bloodstained game.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, so to have a new one of those is so cool. And one that you and me are very happy with, Reese, Final Fantasy Tactics remake.
Yeah, that looks really good. Right, so the Bloodstained game is called Bloodstained the Scarlet Engagement.
Yeah, I was checking it because a couple of my when I wrote these down, a couple of them did have autocorrects.
Yeah.
So Suda51 came out as Susa51.
Yeah, which is always the way, because if you look at our streams, half of my comments get auto-corrected badly.
Yeah, what do you think about...
the difference is we have dyslexia, so your mistakes are just autocorrect.
Yeah.
Ours are fortunately intentional.
Can I ask, actually, Reese, you like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
What do you think of this one, the look of this one?
I personally think it looks great. They've doing a whole new art style. And like Halo's Master Chief Collection, you can swap it
between the
two. So go for the new one or go for the retro.
I gotta be honest, I prefer the retro style to the newer one.
I'm gonna wait.
I'm
gonna wait and see how they look when I have them on a 4K television. So I probably am gonna get the PlayStation version of this one. I'm not so sure how I feel about the fact there's a whole new voice cast for this one, even though they got Ben Starr in for it. Mm-hmm. I kind of think I really liked the voice cast in the PSP version. I don't see why that change was made. And it's a shame because Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the best stories in the series.
Yeah, literally.
It's so good. What are they calling this one? It's like the Evil East Chronicles or something.
Yeah, they've had a bunch of syllables on the end.
Oh, God, just call it.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evil East Chronicles.
Okay.
For some reason.
I don't see why. Because it's not like it's a collection of those games. Because if you added like the Game Boy Advance or the DS game, you could actually call it that. But it's just the PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah, it's just a remake of the one game, not all of them.
So, Ellie,
Square Enix again.
Yeah.
Another Ghost of Yotei video.
And they announced on that one there's going to be a full state of play for Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah.
Which I will not be watching.
I'm not going to watch it either because I don't see what the point is, because Ghost of Yotei, I feel like Ghost of Yotei is going to be so similar to Ghost of Tsushima. I don't imagine they're going to change.
I just don't want to know anything about the game. I like going in blind.
Okay. Yeah. What I was quite happy with, Everybody Golf's Hot Shots coming September 5th. I quite like the Everybody Golf series. Yep. Especially considering Mario Golf isn't that good anymore.
Oh, yeah. The last game we triple reviewed was so bad.
Yeah, I think that's one of our lowest triple reviews ever.
I'm pretty sure in that I was the only one who actually finished the story mode.
Yeah, I don't want to finish that story mode. It was dog shit.
Which is funny because it was only like 3 hours long.
It was all tutorials.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play golf.
Especially considering if you've got a Switch, you've got access to Golf Story. You know, a really good golf RPG.
Yeah.
Or you could just do what I do and not play your boring, dumb shit golf games.
Elliot, Ninja Gaiden Rage...
Batman is in this one.
Yeah. How do you... that one, Hero Gami, the origami game, that looked a bit weird. I wondered what you guys' thoughts on that one was.
Yeah, it doesn't very suitable to me.
We're getting a 2D Ninja Gaiden game. That looks quite good, actually.
There were a couple of things in this where I thought, why is this in a state of play? Like, MGS Delta, like, I know when that game's coming out, and that trailer showed nothing new.
Yeah, the only thing they showed off was that they're bringing back the Ape Escape mode from the
which we already knew because it was in a previous trailer.
Yeah.
They also the new Astrobot levels. I think that could have been a Twitter drop.
Yeah.
I don't see why that was.
Although it has just heated up the fight between me and Cal again.
Oh, not this again! No. But the new games coming to PlayStation Plus though, that was one where all of us were excited by. Deus Ex,
Resi 2, baby.
Resi 2 and 3 coming to the service later down the line.
Let's fucking go.
In terms of PlayStation 2 fans, they're going to be happy. Twisted Metal 3 and 4 coming.
Yeah, which are pretty decent at the time.
And this month, the PS1 Deus Ex game is coming.
Yeah. That's
H-Bomber Guy happy.
Yeah, it's also a lot of the Matrix fans happy considering that game rips a lot of it off.
I mean, there was a couple we discussed on stream. Tides of Tomorrow, that one that's done by the Route 96 team, and me and Elliot were kind of a bit mixed on it.
Yeah, the trailer's just played now. because I'm playing this at the same time we're talking.
Yeah.
The art style's nice, but I'm not really that bothered about the multiplayer aspects.
Well, it's the same art style as Route 96, which
Yeah.
I actually liked. Route 96. I thought it was a cool narrative roguelike.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just the whole idea that your game story can be influenced by multiplayer, which I'm not.
You're not a huge fan of that. Baby Steps was one that all of us keep going, why the hell does this game exist? This looks so bad.
Yeah, it's just QWOP as a 3D platformer.
It just looks boring. It looks like it's just got really cringy humor, toilet humor as well.
It looks
Yeah.
like...
All I'll say is I'm happy for the Happy Madison fans who will enjoy it.
It looks like a dumbed down version of Octopus Dad.
Yeah.
I like Thank God is coming September 8th, which means we're probably never going to see this game again. It's going to come out, get middling reviews at best, and then we're never going to hear about it again.
Yeah.
PlayStation have announced a fight stick.
That was interesting. I'm surprised it took them that long, considering they own Evo. So you'd think that would be something they want to get out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
The
next game we talk about is the Sea of Remnants, the pirate one, Cal.
Yeah, that one. It didn't sell me amazingly. That one.
Yeah, but it gets pretty
It just looks like Animal Crossing with pirates.
Karen, that one didn't look amazing. That's coming November 5th. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound as well. I thought.
I already talked about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got Sword of the Sea. That was up afterwards.
That's coming out August 19th. That's going straight into PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, so people who like Journey will probably like this one as well.
Firebreak.
Yeah, if you enjoy a game, that'll probably be like 30 minutes long.
Firebreak, FPC Firebreak, that's coming June 17th.
Yeah, that one seems kind of cool. It seems kind of as like a game in the Control universe and feels very not Control.
Yeah, because you play as people cleaning up the mess, don't you, afterwards?
Yeah, you fight against the rest of the hits.
I'll be interested. That comes out on. That comes out next week, actually. Are you guys going to pick that one up?
No, I've already spent too much this month.
Okay. The big thing, that one, Mist and Raven.
Yeah, there's all classic point and click games and adventure games.
The thing is, I like point and click games, but they didn't sell me in this trailer, especially considering they didn't even give a release window to when to expect it.
Yeah. Well, it's because games are so old now. It has its fans at the time. I doubt it's going to get more fans because those games pretty much died out as an art style.
Yeah.
I never. We have a Thief VR game, which I'm surprised we're getting after the dog shit that was the 2014 game.
Yeah.
I think they're just milking whatever they have of that franchise before it goes.
Well, how are they milking it? It's been 11 years since the last one.
I think Sony's just desperate to get anything on VR to justify that headset.
Well, they're not putting anything first party on there, so...
Exactly. So they're like, right, Keith, go.
Just put more Resident Evil on there. That you'll be fine.
Well, that probably will be coming next year. The big two things that came out of this press conference were the first look at the new 007 game is being done by IO Interactive, which is called First Light.
Lights, yeah. Which is getting closer to the original novels this time.
Yeah. Apparently in this one, Bond is 26.
Yeah, so this is sort of how he becomes a
younger than all the first. How does that make you feel?
The weird thing is, though, Bond's not that young in the books, though. That's one thing they've diverted from. He's like, I think he's relatively aged in the books.
Yeah, but this is going off the book's law about how he started, because in this trailer, he has that scar down his cheek, which is only in the books, not that the film's adapted.
Yeah, also he's a chain smoker in the books.
Yeah.
In fact, Casino Royale starts with Bond smoked his 40th cigarette of the day.
Yay, lung cancer.
What did you guys think of the
fiction? You don't get anything bad in fiction.
What do you think of the look of First Light? Because I really like the look of this trailer.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of the Hitman series. I'm also a fan of Bonds. I'm not the biggest James Bond fan, but still like it.
I've seen 2 movies.
Out of like nearly 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not even any of the old ones. They're Spectre and Skyfall.
Well, at least those two are the better ones.
He saw one of the best ones. Yeah, Skyfall is amazing. I would make the it's also interesting that we're going to get a new Bond game before we get a new Bond film. And
yes, the casting going on says Amazon bought the rights.
Yeah.
We're still waiting to know who the next Bond's going to be.
Well, that's the problem because now Amazon bought it. They've redone all the casting and everything.
Can I suggest?
Bond was originally owned by the Broccoli family, who were partnered through Eon to make the films. Whereas now it's all Amazon in-house.
So you thought the product placement was bad in the films before?
Amazon is slowly turning into the new Disney.
Well,
yeah.
Just buying franchises and making them worse.
Yeah, because don't forget they also got Rings of Power, which Ren loves.
That being said...
That's all Amazon.
That being said...
Yep, I mean, they ruined the Wheel of Time.
I like the look of...
They ruined the Wheel of Time, then it got good, and then they cancelled it after they got good.
I like the look of... I like the design of this Bond, actually. I think they have a good idea. Because I like the fact they didn't try to make him look too much like any of the actors that have played Bond.
I mean, which one would you pick? Let's be honest, which one would you pick? That would be like an impossible task. Because you basically just wouldn't be satisfying anyone, so you might as well just go, fuck it, we'll do our own thing.
Yeah, because
and if you're based off of previous Bonds, you've got the likeness, the rights, that's going to be expensive.
Yeah, like even if you tried to get like Daniel Craig right now, even now his likeness is worth even more.
Yeah.
Like I reckon a whole bunch of that budget into that GoldenEye remake went down to getting Daniel Craig's likeness. But Elliot's point is right. They needed to do their own thing to separate it out. The only thing I will say is he kind of looks a little bit like a young Pierce Brosnan.
I just it looks a bit like a younger Nathan Drake.
Yeah, like he does look this game does look very Uncharted like.
I kind of hope they go down this route of, though, they're going to make a series of Bond games similar to what we've had with the Spider-Man games, where they're kind of off doing their own thing.
That would be cool. That would be cool if they did that.
And also, this trailer did end saying we're going to see more gameplay this summer.
So we are probably going to see a new gameplay trailer for it. What are you guys betting on, third person or first person?
It looks third. It looks very third person.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen bits of gameplay for it. It's all third.
Yeah, the only time we go first person is looking down sights, just like the other Hitman games.
Yeah,
I agree, and I think if you want, you've got IO Interactive who are really developed that brilliant physics engine with the Hitman games. Why would you have them mess them about?
Yeah, literally. But I hope the best Hitman glitch in physics is included in this with the homing briefcase. Have you guys seen that?
I've seen the homing briefcase. Yes.
Yeah. So there's a famous clip. Feels like Hitman 2, where he's on the Miami level, and normally you can use your briefcase. You can throw at someone to knock him out, and the player throws at the guy on the jet ski. The jet ski drives off, and the briefcase just homes in around him.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because I'm hoping for that level of creativity with how you play it. Because my favorite mission in Hitman is in the third game when you do the murder mystery where you pose as a detective.
Oh yeah, and which just knives out.
You can solve the murder to get closer to your target, or you could just assassinate her outright. Yeah,
because they're doing really well Hitman, because there's at least 10 plus ways to end a mission in every level.
Did you actually solve the mystery when you went to do that mission, or did you just kill her outright?
No, I just killed her outright.
Oh, I actually did the whole thing. Because I thought, I'm not clever. I'm not good enough at this game to kill her outright. I'm going to have to do this so that I can get alone. And I just pushed her off the balcony.
I'm not clever enough to kill her. I'll solve this mystery first.
Plus, I was actually engrossed in it. So I'm going to solve this. Wait until she had her back turned, pushed her off a balcony.
Well, speaking of Switch 2, they did announce we are getting that collection on the Switch 2 called The World of Assassins.
I think it's there. I think it's on the Switch.
Oh, it's out now?
I think it's out now.
I'm pretty sure it's up for pre-order, like same day as all the others.
It's at least up for pre-order because I saw it on the eShop.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up picking it up because, honest to God, I've never played a Hitman game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never played one.
Wow.
I never learned about it until like I was in my 20s, honestly.
It's a really good way to
get the first Hitman game I ever heard of was Absolution because Crunchyroll kept fucking advertising it all the time. I didn't have Crunchyroll Premium at the time.
Oh no, I used to be low on PS2 because you had that. You also had Blood Money. That was a good one, Elliot.
Yeah, I've heard good things about them. I've just never got around to them.
Okay, so the final trailer in this thing was the new Marvel fighter that's been done by the Guilty Gear devs and is going to be a PlayStation exclusive because they paid for right. And this is one where I saw the PlayStation Studios logo, and at the end of it said, "How are you saying this is PlayStation Studios? Because it's done by Arc Entertainment. They are not owned by PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't own." PlayStation
maybe because Spider-Man's gonna be in it.
They don't own, but they don't own the video game rights to Spider-Man. Spider-Man, they only own the rights to the Insomniac version. So it's not as
just look at those rights. Well, it's like Sony only has the rights to the movie version of Spider-Man.
So, for example, they couldn't do if they wanted to do the Tobey Maguire skin in Marvel Rivals, they could only put that on the PlayStation version because Sony owns that. Unless Microsoft wants to pay extra to have it on the PC and Xbox version. But that's the thing as well. So they don't own Spider-Man. They don't own Marvel. They don't own Arc Systems. They are just paying for this exclusivity. So it's like that PlayStation Studios logo is doing a bit of a stretch there.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they finance this just to have an Evo in the future.
This does feel like a game that's made just for Evo.
Yeah.
And there is a rumor going around that the designs for this game are being done by the My Hero Academia mangaka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which when I saw the design of Miss Marvel, I went, yeah, this really does look like it's been done by the My Hero Academia mangaka.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, the entire cast, Miss Marvel's one with the most radical redesign compared to a comic book.
You never know. They also did the Arc System Works also did Dragon Ball Fighter Z, so they might be just tapping into some of that. Designing that.
Yeah, I did hear a lot of people say after this trailer came out, we can put down Fighter Z, we don't have to play it anymore, we can play this instead. I'm like, no, still play Fighter Z, it's a really good game.
Yeah, especially after all the updates as well. That roster is massive now.
I'm interested though on how a 4v4 fight is going to go, considering it's crowded enough when you do 3v3 in the Marvel vs. Capcom games.
Yeah.
Which I'm a bit upset about that because I kind of was hoping we get a new Marvel vs. Capcom, and it looks like this has now put that to bed for a long time.
I mean, you could definitely tell they took a lot of inspiration from that. Like Starkiller's special attack, ultimate attack we saw in that is blatantly just taken from Dante.
I should say
that's literally Dante's attack.
I should say he's got it mixed up. He's meant to say Star-Lord.
Yeah. Because it's Starkiller from Star Wars and Soul Calibur 4.
They both start with Star, okay?
It's okay.
Look, you need to understand. I'm not as big of a nerd as you guys are.
I do like Star. I liked. I found that though the character selection for that trailer was a bit of an interesting combination because you got Star-Lord, you've got Captain America and Iron Man. Obviously, makes sense.
Yeah.
But then it's like Miss Marvel. I wouldn't have thought she was as popular a character as that to get in the trailer. Like, I'm glad she was there, but
I just want to show up a variety of them.
Yeah,
like, and the fans, you would have replaced the last two with Hulk and Thor.
Yeah.
You got a choice like Storm being the only X-Man on a team instead of Wolverine, who's normally the go-to for fighting games.
I think Wolverine's in there. They're just waiting to reveal him.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about this trailer only.
Yeah, but it's an interesting choice they made for the trailer reveal because I'm interested how this goes, but I kind of wish we were getting a new Marvel vs. Capcom as opposed to this.
Yeah. And also, since it's 4v4, I wonder how large the initial roster is going to be.
Yeah, because I would say you'd have to do at least 16 fighters, bare minimum.
Otherwise, get too repetitive.
Way too repetitive. I think ideally they should have 32.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, in terms of the programming of that, is 32 in the capacity that they have to do at launch? Because obviously this is going to be like Marvel Rivals.
Well, I mean, obviously it's going to get DLC.
Yeah, this is going to get DLC.
It's kind of standard with fighting games.
This is going to get DLC through the roof because I think Marvel is probably going to be looking at this saying, how many we've had loads of success in Marvel Rivals and we're putting loads of characters into that. How many characters can we get into this one if this is a success?
Also depends on how successful it is.
Yeah, that's another point. How successful it is. But how do you think this being a PlayStation exclusive is going to affect the success level of this?
I think, it's definitely going to take a hit.
Yeah.
But that being said, I have a feeling this might be a timed exclusive.
Ooh,
don't really see the like unless like they throw Spider-Man in as like because it's Sony. I don't see this being like eternally exclusive.
I think a PC version is definitely going to happen. Do you think it's PC's the same day as the console release, or do you reckon they'll put this as console first?
Not sure.
I think maybe console first. But Arc System Works normally does do multiplats with Guilty Gear, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and other titles.
You got to wonder, how big was the paycheck that Sony put out to get both Marvel and Arc Systems to do this? That's got to have been a hell of a paycheck.
Definitely. Because China paid a lot of money to get the license for Rivals.
Yeah, and Rivals has been obviously a major success, but again, a big factor in that has been it's been on so many platforms to...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to Summer Games Fest. We won't go through every single thing with this one because there's way too many games to talk about, and I don't care about a whole bunch of, like, I don't give a shit about Dune Awakening. I don't give a shit.
Which is that weird MMO style one.
I'm not there was a few things in there. Elliot, big highlight for you in that whole thing.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, one I know you lost your shit for because I lost it as well. Code Vein 2.
What the fuck? How is that a thing? Like, the first game came out 2019. I thought most people had forgotten about it. Because I know it's coming back.
And it looks so good. This one looks so good.
Yeah.
Not art style wise.
Yeah,
art style wise, the first game definitely looks better.
Yeah, I did look at it thinking, is this a spin-off of it did look like a bit of a spin-off of Genshin Impact.
Yeah, because I saw in chat at the time, the initial character we see the guy, I was like, is this a spin-off of Fortnite? Because he looks like a Fortnite character.
It kind of does. But then, like, I started watching more of it, and I thought, wait, I recognize that attack. The attack with the claw and the gas mask. I reckon, is this Code Vein?
One for me, Sonic Cross Worlds got its release date, September 28th.
And it proved all the leaks right about his roster.
Yes, because we've got confirmed that Minecraft characters as well as Ichiban from Yakuza, Like a Dragon's in there. They also confirmed
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob has already been confirmed, and Hatsune Miku.
Yep.
And
Hatsune Miku and Ichiban exist in the same world. That does not feel right.
And of course, Joker from Persona 5. That one did not leak out though. That was a genuine surprise.
One of my favorite memes I saw about it was Joker being announced and they're going, at last, Carson.
Especially considering that his cart does is designed.
His car is literally just Arsene, but as a Hot Wheels.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because I thought it was supposed to be the Morgana van.
I would have thought that
that would work actually. I would be fully up for that.
Mouse. What about one I like the look of, but I'm surprised it hasn't got a release date or anything like that yet? Was Mouse PI for Hire? You know, the sort of Doom meets Cuphead game.
Yeah, that game was announced a few years ago.
Yeah, the one that I said was created by Maximilian Pegasus. If he did video games instead of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, and the big thing about that trailer was announcing that Troy Baker's been cast in it.
Yeah, so it is called Mouse PI for Hire. Yeah. We just released it just this year.
I mean, great if it comes out, but I think I'm a bit doubtful considering they didn't put a release date on it, unless they want to put that in like an indie world or something.
Yeah. It's also the studio's first game, apparently.
There was a whole bunch of games where I think people would expect us to care about it, and we didn't. Like the new Game of Thrones game, that doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see any gameplay for it.
Yeah. I didn't.
I'm kind of happy. I like Game of Thrones.
I mean,
Atomic Heart 2
looks alright.
For everyone who liked Atomic Heart for everything aside from the sexy mannequins. Let's be honest, as old people remember from that game.
Yeah, it's just sexy Russian robots.
Well, for me, I remember that and the 10 minutes I spent in the lift at the very beginning.
I genuinely, I never played Atomic Heart, and I hated the people that were going on about it because they were all, half the time people that were going on about it was just praising the sexy robots. And I was like, what else is there to this game?
My brother in Christ, you're a Xenoblade fan.
And I was like, I felt Yeah, but fucking hell, I'm never coming back from that comeback.
Onimusha was shown off.
That looks amazing.
That still looks great. Really looking forward to that. Oh, we got a Punch Out, but Muppets meets Punch Out.
That one's. I felt that boxing. That looked great. I'm a bit. One that I thought I would like it more. You'd think I'd like it more than I did was that Marvel Cosmic Invasion. That one to me felt like I like the idea of another Marvel beat 'em up. Done by the Ninja.
The team behind the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one.
Yeah, but I felt like looking at it going. The announcement was She-Hulk and Wolverine in there.
No, She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon.
She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon. That was the announcements of the two characters that were coming in. I was like, you're going to need more than this, guys. There's a lot of Marvel, and you're...
No, that's the She-Hulk complaint. I'm not interested because there's not enough references. I need more characters I recognize.
No, it's not that I need more characters I recognize. I need to know, like, what is this all we're getting? Because I think the need...
Obviously, we're going to be getting more. Keep your fucking knickers on.
It's one of those as well. I'm interested how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Me and Reese were geeking out a little bit with Lego Voyagers.
That looks so good.
Yeah,
it looks so cute.
Yes.
Like, how did they make, like, just one by one Lego bricks look so fucking adorable?
Because it got to a point in chat, I was like, oh, turn up, they make cute little noises.
I was
just watching that, and at first I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then I just kept watching. I was just like, I need this right now. This genuinely looks like such a fun game.
One I like the look of as well.
Like Lego It Takes Two or something like that.
Yeah.
I did like the look of Lego Voyagers. I really like the look of that one. I'm very excited to see what they do with that one. Mafia: The Old Country got that trailer. August 8th is coming out. I'm not a huge fan of the Mafia games, so...
I've never played any of them, but I'm want to because I've heard the stories in those games are amazing.
Yeah, it's very Godfather inspired.
Yeah, I mean it's Mafia, so obviously.
One I was a little.
I want to give it a try just because I've heard really good things about it.
What I'm disappointed by was Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. I'm like, oh, for God's sake, that did not look good at all.
Yeah, it did. I thought you were going to say it's because Hey Arnold's not in it.
No, I didn't like the character selection because, again, I thought like it's just SpongeBob and everything recent, which is what I'm noticing in a lot of these Nicktoon games.
Yeah.
Calvin, the games for kids. The games for kids who are growing up with Nickelodeon now. You are a man in your 30s.
But I remember, that doesn't make any sense for me because I remember when they did the Paramount Plus trailer, they showed off Hey Arnold in that one. But I think,
that's Paramount Plus. That's because they know there are a bunch of 30-year-olds who for some reason can't let go of their childhood.
What else?
Bring back round to Lego. We had the Lego Party, which is Mario Party ripoff with Legos.
Didn't look amazing, that one, if I'm going to be honest. I wasn't really sold on that. But
the game for me was Jurassic Park Evolution 3.
Jurassic Park Evolution 3 looks good.
He seems quite excited for that one, actually.
Yeah, the first two games are really great. Yeah, I would recommend them.
Yeah, they are really good, especially considering that they graphically look way better than Planet Zoo.
Yeah, Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster are the two recent ones by that studio. Yeah. But I actually go with the Zoo Tycoon games.
Yeah, we got another co-op game called Out of Words.
Looks alright.
Which similar to
I'm trying to remember this one. I didn't get a good
Mio Memories in Orbit.
Mio Memories in Orbit. I wrote it down and thought this one looked quite good.
Yeah, I still remember that one. It looks quite. That one generally looks really good. Reminds me a lot of Ori.
Mm. Yeah, I liked the look. I really like the look of that one. What about? Okay, so.
And of course the announcement for Cal was Kenny Omega as the Street Fighter cosplays.
Yeah, I mean, I like the character selection this time, even though my most wanted character wasn't in there.
Which one was that?
Sakura. I really wanted Sakura to come into the game. But some good selection there. Alex.
I too would have liked to have seen that wrestler dress up as Sakura. That would have been nice.
Well, we already got.
Well, he cosplays a Crimson Viper.
And Ingrid. I mean, Crimson Viper coming back. Thank fuck for that.
It's been a while.
Can we get him back for when Soul Calibur 7's finally announced and get him to dress up as Ivy?
I think he is a big Soul Calibur fan, so he might do that.
You do remember who Ivy is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, knowing Kenny Omega, he's up for just about anything. I like Alex coming in. He's a cool choice. I think the big one for me from this was Crimson Viper coming in. I know a lot of people were going on about Sagat, but for me, Crimson Viper coming back is my favorite thing about that. Ingrid, though, that was a weird choice.
Yeah.
Because she's only been in one game, as far as I'm aware. She was only in Capcom Fighting Evolution. She's that was it. That's the only thing she's been in. No wonder they put that game on that collection, that recent collection. Okay, so what else was there? One I did like the look of Mina the Hollower, the new game from Yacht Club Games. That was finally got its release date of Halloween.
Yeah.
Funny that Silent Hill isn't coming out on Halloween, and yet the Funny Mouse game is.
Yeah, that is a bizarre choice, especially considering that I don't like the idea of that coming out on Halloween, because I'm going to have one day to play it on Halloween season, and then Halloween season is over. It's like when they did that with, which I'm borrowing that from Scott the Was, but I think he made a good point about that when Luigi's Mansion 3 got released on Halloween.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a dumb argument, because I think it's fitting because of the day, but there's just like, Halloween's over. I guess it's not as fun now.
But that being said, I mean, Mina the Hollower was announced ages ago. I mentioned to you guys, Mina the Hollower got announced on G4 TV. That's how long it's been in development.
Yeah. I've never watched G4 TV.
I only know that because Yacht Club announced ahead of time they were going to stream it as well on their Twitch channel. Yeah. So it was the part of the G4 broadcast was on that.
And now G4 is dead.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
One Scott the Was and then it ended.
What do you guys think of the look of Mina the Hollower?
Yeah, it was really good. It's very retro.
Yeah, going back to Link to the Past. Not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening.
Get your fucking Zelda games right.
What Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree thing? You like the look of Dying Light the Beast, Elliot, didn't you?
Yeah, I like Dying Light. I think it's a fun series.
August 22nd, that's out. Probably.
Yeah, it's just zombies with parkour. What's that like?
Yeah, it's sick. It's awesome. It's basically Walking Dead meets Mirror's Edge.
Deadpool VR.
I saw. I was just like, oh my god, it's a new Deadpool game. That's so cool. It's VR.
Yeah, that was it.
I just fucking spilled water everywhere.
Shit. Well, while Elliot.
Fuck it, work it.
Well, Elliot...
Yeah. So watch that trailer. It did look good. I did like some of the deep cuts to the older villains being brought back, but overall, I'm not that interested because it's VR only.
Yeah. I want to fucking like. I'm probably one of the few people who actually kind of enjoyed the Deadpool hack and slash game that came out years ago.
Yep.
Like that game was fun. Give us another one.
Yeah, because that was Nolan North, wasn't it, Elliot?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was. It was either Nolan North or Troy Baker. I think it was no. Give me a sec. I'll double check.
Well,
because I was getting the two mixed up.
Well, one of my favorite.
I do as well.
My second favorite announcement of the entire event was Scott Pilgrim EX. That's coming next year. A new beat 'em up Scott Pilgrim game.
It was Nolan North.
Cheers, Elliot.
And I really love the original Scott Pilgrim game. So to get a new one, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a shame they didn't tie it into the newer.
I think it is.
Netflix
I think it is tying a little bit into the new Netflix series because.
What meant though? They should release it at a similar time frame.
Yeah, but again, I feel like they were waiting to see was that.
They did. Didn't they re-release the first Scott Pilgrim game like around that time?
No, they released that way before that.
Yeah.
Because Ubisoft held some of the rights to that one. I don't know if Ubisoft is doing this one or not. Double check that.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. But what do you guys? Yeah, no, let's see. I'm not seeing a Ubisoft.
I mean, it's a game where you face off against the three big evils of the world: demons, robots, and vegans.
Yeah, no, it's just Tribute Games doing this one. It's not Ubisoft. Ubisoft doesn't have anything on this apparently. What do you think about the Le Chiffre going into Hitman World of Assassination?
Yeah, it's just a free crossover DLC. The mission's only about half an hour long, so.
Well, what's the point of that?
Yeah, but it's mostly just so that they got Mads Mikkelsen in to tie to James Bond.
Well, anything with Mads Mikkelsen in is going to be cool. They announced a few more items for the Resident Evil anniversary is going to be detailed later.
It's literally just, we're getting a Steam sale.
There wasn't much else that other than the fact Liza P had the Shadow Drop. There wasn't much else in there. I mean, Guild Wars 2, but I'm not that interested.
Especially because that's over a decade old as well now.
We got a launch trailer for Mind's Eye, which has had one of the roughest launches we've had in a while.
Oh yeah, that launch has not been good. And of course,
it's like similar. It's like from what I've heard, it's like Cyberpunk levels of bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. Sony's now doing free refunds like Cyberpunk.
Guild Wars 2 got a thing. And then, of course, we had that guy who went an ass of himself on stage to promote Splitgate 2.
So, yeah. And he's had massive backlash online now.
And it's such a dumb...
I don't remember what happened with that.
It was the guy who went on stage saying, because I played Halo and I love this. And he had a make first-person shooters great again hat. And I'm like, fuck off, dude. Yeah. There's been so many great first-person shooters.
Yeah, he then said he was making Splitgate 2 great again for FPS sake. And then all he announced was Battle Royale mode, which every other one has currently on the market. And then they updated the in-game shops and I'll do 80 quid bundles for skins. So Phil points out, you've just tanked this game massively.
You could have just... I'm probably saying if he said like Bioshock, for example, as the example of make FPS is great again, I would probably be understandable. But come on, not just Halo. Yeah. You just ruined it.
It's not even Halo. It's knockoff Halo.
Yeah,
and it's a
Halo. Splitgate 1 was so bad it never left beta. They cancelled it.
You can't call this Splitgate 2. You never released Splitgate 1.
Yeah, literally.
It's like Among Us had more of a launch than this. Fortnite has had more of a launch than that.
Onto something good. We got the announcement of a game called Ill.
Oh, that looked alright.
Which that looks pretty good.
I thought it was so funny. All the enemies are bald white people for some reason.
Yeah. What about?
I mean, it looks good. I think it looks good. Like it looks like sort of modern Resident Evil. It looks sick.
This one I can
like a lot of body horror shit in it.
There's another game I like the look of. It looked like Bastion.
Oh wait a minute! I think I saw that one before.
It's one of the groups. What was it called?
Where is it?
Blighted.
Yeah, Blighted looked quite good.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
One that I think you would like. I'll probably like up your street, Elliot. Stranger Than Heaven, the new game done by the Like a Dragon studio.
Oh, obviously that's going to be big for me. It's Ryugo Gotoku. That's the Yakuza guys. I'm really so excited for that. RGG has not missed for me yet, and I'm obviously I'm really into it.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do with now they've actually given that project a complete title. But the final trailer was the big one, Resident Evil 9, which is going to be called Resident Evil Requiem. It's out.
Yes.
Out February 27th, and it's going to take place. From the looks of the trailer, it's taking place in the nuked Raccoon City.
Oh god, I'm so excited. I fucking love Resident Evil.
I love the fact that none of us quite knew what it was.
Yeah, because I was off the shop.
I first saw it. I first saw some of the things. I was just thinking, is it even within 3?
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff, because like I think a lot of stuff still remind me of Evil Within, but then I was just like, oh fuck, Resident Evil.
Yeah, because watching my guess was Deadly Premonition 3.
I was sort of looking at it thinking, hang on, is that Ethan's daughter from the DLC? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Rose.
And then I was looking at it all and I was going, yeah, okay, now I realise it's a Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it ties into Resident Evil Outbreak of all games.
Which is cool for me because I love the Resident Evil Outbreak games.
Yeah. Which are the earliest online Resident Evil games back in the day.
Oh God, I so hope we get more. I would love it if they did this as a way to re-release Resident Evil Outbreak with updated netcode.
Yeah.
Because I never got to play it online.
Same.
In fact, I did because they didn't bring the online to Europe, I believe.
Yeah. But funny enough, the game is still being hosted by Japanese players, but it's only in Japanese online.
Everyone, we're taking a flight to Tokyo.
Yeah, somehow they managed to keep the game online server-wise for like 20 years. How's it going down?
Without the VPNs.
Okay,
Yeah.
So here's your bet, guys. Would you prefer this game be third person or first person?
It's got to be first.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with third. I think I prefer Resident Evil in third person with a first person option for VR.
I'm saying it's going to be first because I think like each of the main trilogies sort of do different gameplay styles. Like the first 3, it was all still the whole fixed camera thing.
And tank controls.
Yeah, the second one was third person. And the last 2 have been first person, so I think the third one's going to be the last first person rather.
That'll be interesting. Well, obviously we'll get more of a look at it as time goes on. There's
because watching the trailer, we didn't actually see any gameplay. It was only in-engine stuff.
Yeah, it was just like cutscenes.
Yeah. But I do think this game is going to come out in February. I don't think they'd put that release date on it if they were like, we think we can make this thing for February.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it, just thinking, yes, I get to play more Resident Evil. Fuck, I have to watch Calvin stream it.
Shall we move on to the Xbox showcase because this won't take long?
If we must.
Sure.
I mean, the big thing from this was Outer Worlds 2, which I watched the developer direct on that as well. They did sell me on that a little bit, although it might have been just because Ben Schwartz really made me laugh with his performance in that. Because
as we all know, Carl loves him after Sonic.
It's I saw him in DuckTales before he was in Sonic. He does actually do that was actually quite funny, that one. But Outer Worlds 2, I do like some of the new mechanics they're having. Like the fault system is pretty good. That you get the one Kleptomaniac of you get more money for if you sell stolen shit, but as a result you might end up stealing something you don't want to and piss off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But there's a few things there, like you guys didn't play the first Outer Worlds, so I just can't imagine you're that excited for the second one.
I mean, why not play the first one for a while? I just never got around to it.
It's a pretty good game. It's better than Starfield. I'll say that now.
I mean, let's be honest. Anything's going to be fucking better than Starfield.
I would say I'd say it's close to Fallout New Vegas in quality. It's really top quality game. Yeah,
because Starfield was so bad. Even the modders gave up on it within like 2 months.
It comes out October 29th. It's on Game Pass, obviously, because all first-party games. But if you want to get the early access to it on Game Pass, you do have to buy the upgrade for it, which it's not as expensive if you're on Game Pass because it's £20 for the upgrade. But for that, you're really only getting a few extra items and a week early access.
Yeah, great. You have to pay extra for a game you really don't own.
Some weird ones there, like High on Life 2. Like, who was really asking for a sequel to High on Life?
Yeah, which is just quite out this winter.
We're getting another Plague Tale game set soon.
I mean, ROG. The good news is, one that I found interesting was that Xbox handheld kind of came true because it's a ROG Ally that's specifically designed for Xbox users.
Yeah, and I pointed out how funny it is that Xbox is releasing a console called Ally during Pride Month.
One I did like.
They've announced it. They're not releasing it this month.
Pride Winter alongside Silk Song, apparently.
The one reason I would be getting it is to play my Steam library on it, because they have sort of implied you can play Steam games on it.
I should also point out another thing, Reese. You are incorrect on that one, because Team Cherry has said on their Discord that Hollow Knight Silk Song's release is not tied to this console, but they did say it will release before holiday season. So that says to me Silk Song is coming out September or October.
Microsoft really wanted to justify the Ally by showing Silk Song on it.
Yeah, that was what I found bizarre. Like, if this thing is not tied into the console's release, what is the point of highlighting Silk Song? Because it's like, I know what Silk Song...
Big game, people won.
But I would have like another thing though is I would have put a big Xbox first party game that's going to get people interested in saying, look how well this renders on this portable device. So like, put something like that on there. That would have done.
Okay, sure. But question: people probably wouldn't just care as much.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People cared more about the fact of Hollow Knight Silk Song being shown again. They didn't care that much about the handheld.
Exactly.
Super Meat Boy 3D, that looked pretty good.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it does look good, but I'm worried about my depth perception being thrown off by going to 3D.
What about this?
I really like the first Super Meat Boy. I never beat it, but I did enjoy it. So, yeah, just another one of those is going to be a lot of fun.
One which I thought you were going to be more excited for, but you didn't sound that excited when I spoke about it with you, Elliot. Ninja Gaiden 4 getting release date of October 21st.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's just I'm not good at Ninja Gaiden, like at all.
Oh.
One of the first I got in the Ninja Gaiden game, level 2. Oh. It's not easy.
I do like the fact though Xbox got this partnership deal with it. It's cool. It's a cool game. I'm looking forward to the release.
Yeah. One of the opening trailers was the new Plague Tale game.
Yes.
Yeah, I did mention that.
Resonance, a Plague Tale.
I told it, but everyone does. My words were ignored.
Oh, I completely missed that. Yeah, it's called.
Yeah, I said I'm surprised we're going to announce them for one like this soon. So that one didn't come out that long ago.
No, I think this is a spin-off rather than a new game, because it's called Plague Tale Legacy. I'll be interested because they didn't really have much of a release window on this one, so that to me said this one's in not early development, but it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it's 26 game.
I've just gone part the press conference now with the Rogue Ally, and the woman told she has the giant poster of Silk Song right next to her, like ceiling to floor.
Yeah, we know Silk Song is on Game Pass. I didn't need you to tell. I'm probably still not, despite the fact I've got a Game Pass account, I'm probably still going to get it on Switch too.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is getting DLC.
Yeah, about giant people.
I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Yeah. It was really well received though, that game.
By the way, Reese, I do prefer that name. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the giant people, rather than Order of the Giants.
The one I didn't really remember at all anything about Beast of Reincarnation, but the one that we all really perked up for.
Well, Beast of Reincarnation, that was Game Freak one. It's the Pokemon team.
Oh yeah, that's the Pokemon.
It's a Souls like done by Game Freak.
Yeah.
Which I legit saw. The Game Freak that was like, what?
Yeah.
They're doing Souls like? This is Pokemon, guys.
Yeah, but
and it looks like heavily inspired by Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
And Game Freak is not
cool, actually.
You gotta remember, Game Freak is not owned by Nintendo or the Pokemon Company. They're free to do what they want.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it as well. Clockwork Revolution, though, that was one which we all said was the highlight of the show.
That looks really fucking good. Like, holy shit, that legit looks really good.
I've been waiting for a successor for BioShock, and this looks like it's quite close to that.
Definitely more a spiritual successor to Infinite rather than Bioshock as a whole.
Yeah, I like the look of it though. I'm wondering when this game's coming out because they didn't put a 2026 on the end of this.
No, they just left it blank.
And I thought, well, did they need to show this trailer? Because if this game's coming out in 2027, they did not need to show this trailer.
Well, I think they have to show it because it's the best trailer in here.
Yeah, I think.
I imagine they're going to show off a release date soon enough.
But
I don't see. I think it's far enough along that it's not going to be 2027.
But it's
a lot of games like this.
So the end of the trailer just says "coming in due time."
But the thing about it is, for me, it's probably a problem I had with this show and a lot of Xbox shows. They're showing way too much shit way too early to get a hype announcement, and then we don't see it for ages, and it takes ages to come out, and by the time it comes out, people aren't really there to care for it. I think Clockwork Revolution has a chance to really buck that trend. But,
well, just go off that trend, Cal. We have to approve of Microsoft. Elder Scrolls. It's been 7 years.
To be fair, that one's not entirely on Microsoft because Bethesda announced that before the merger.
Yeah.
Also in my case, I'm just happy to see games. I don't care when they come out.
But the thing for me is, I think Microsoft's strategy is not really working here. For example, Avowed. I think if that game came out 2 years after that initial trailer, it would have done so much better. The fact,
you're an impatient bitch.
But I heard no one talk about. I heard everyone talk about this game when it first came, when the first trailer was shown. I heard no one talk about it when it came out in February.
Yeah.
So this strategy is not working for Microsoft. Like, it's going to work for their bigger games, like Gears of War E-Day. That's going to have no problem. Perfect Dark, that's not going to have a problem. Fable's not going to have a problem. Some of these games might have that trouble. I think Clockwork Revolution is probably next year. I can't imagine it's a 2027 game. Like, I imagine, like, Perfect Dark, I think that's 2027. But not... I think Clockwork Revolution will come out next year. Grounded 2, that's coming... July 29th, looks alright.
Yeah, I didn't play the original. Did you guys?
No, I didn't even know the first one was out.
Yeah. Because Grounded 1 was in beta for years.
Yeah, it was beta for ages, and then
one thing I didn't care about when the trailer started, but by the time it ended, I was starting to get a little bit intrigued by it. Is there are no ghosts in the Grand?
Yes, I mean, I look at that. It's English one, Cal. The Eldritch Horrors.
Yeah, like I was not sure about it at first. Like the whole, you're building up a town, okay, you make it a little better. Then it sort of goes to the end, and you sort of show that there's a bit more nefariousness with your motivations of you going there. I was just like, I'm a little bit interested now.
And the trail ends with him on the boat with the tentacles coming up.
Yes, that one.
I started becoming a bit more interested by the end of it.
Yeah. I wish they put a release window on it, but wow.
2026 is what they said.
Oh, 2026. Yeah, well, that looks actually kind of interesting. I'd pick that one up. New update for Age Mythology. Oh, Planet of Lana 2. That looked cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Trailer for Fallout 76. The solo leveling game doesn't look very good.
It's kind of that multiplayer one as well.
Yeah, where everyone just plays as Sung Jin Woo. Because let's be honest, there's not that many other characters in the story aside from Sung Jin Woo.
Which one was Which one was this one?
Which one?
Animo.
I'm not that part of the trailer. The one I just saw was Antholion. That's one in the collaboration with the European Space Agency.
God, yes, now I remember that. That was that dreadful Pokemon rip-off co-op game. Rip-off co-op.
That was horrible.
Oh, it's one where you turn into the Pokemon.
It looked it was like that. It's too bright. It's too bright.
Yeah, I'm not like photosensitive or whatever you call it when there's a lot of flashing colors and lights. I was getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, because it got to when we saw the trailer. I thought, is this Power World after the lawsuit with Nintendo and they're stripping everything Pokemon related? Because it's that same art style.
There was one that I was like, one of the trailers where I was like, there was a couple of trailers where I was like, why are you showing more of this? Was Gears of War Reloaded. Like, we don't need to see much more of that one. We knew it was coming out when it was.
That's. I mean, that's like that's another remake of the first one.
Yeah, but it's.
I didn't know about this one to begin with.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, they only really showed off the fact a couple of the characters coming into it, and I mean, they did a decent job showing the transition from the original game to this new one.
Yeah, so they showed off that Michelangelo was in, and then they showed again that the Doomslayer is as well. Yeah. Which already knew.
You also saw Tony Hawk at the beginning. Dude, bro has not aged the best.
No. Well, the poor guy's in his 50s now.
Yeah, which is still kind of hard to believe because you never thought, because Tony Hawk is one of those people you think will be young forever.
Yeah. Dude's been married 4 times.
Oh. Wait, just like Cal.
Seriously, he's been married 4 times.
Oh no, it turns out he's 57. He's nearly 60.
Yeah.
To be fair, he looks not too bad for his age.
Yeah.
One game that looks kind of interesting, Mudang 2 Hearts.
That looks alright.
Looks fine.
It's
There's also that new game done by these Spiritfarer guys.
Oh yes. What was that one called again?
A Fate's End.
Yeah, yeah, that was the highlight of the whole show for me.
Yeah, it's one of those people drawing swords.
I love the look of that. I'm day one there for that one. I loved Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
Can I add another one to the mix? One I like to look at. One I kind of like to look of. The Invincible game.
Yeah,
I did not like that.
I thought you'd be way more excited for that one.
It looks all right. It's I admit though, Reese is right. It looks cheap.
Yeah, it's like bad 3D models with cheap animation.
I haven't seen Invincible, so I will not know how accurate it is.
But it's not just accurate. Even going off the trailer alone, you can see the models slowly morphing in that. It looks cheap and rushed.
Yeah.
It does look like we need to get an Invincible game out as soon as possible. But big one, though, was the Final Fantasy announcements. We'll get to the other big one of RPG news. But Final Fantasy VII Remake coming this winter to Xbox. Presumably that's also when we'll get the Switch 2 release.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy 16 Shadow dropped on the console. So now you can play with the exception of 11, you can play the entire mainline series of Final Fantasy on Xbox.
That's crazy.
But you got from a tweet, and he's been saying, and he said, been talking about constantly.
But I went to think about that, thinking, oh, that's a really good selling point for Xbox. But then I looked on PlayStation, I was looking, okay, what games don't I have access to on PlayStation and
12? I don't think it's on there.
No, 12 is on PlayStation.
12 is on there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's released as a Zodiac Age, but you do get...
Really on PS5, the only game you don't really have access to is 13.
Yeah, that's the only... As I was saying, yeah, but that's only... So that tweet's all well and good. So that thing is all well and good, but you're thinking, yeah, but that's only because you've got access to 13 and none of us want to play it.
Yeah, that's not to brag about.
I still kind of enjoy 13.
Look, I like 13 for the most part, but I don't like the story of 13.
I like some of the characters. Come on, doesn't matter how much you hate it. Lightning and Fang are dope.
Oh, there's someone at Games Lodge that when I went there who really disagrees with you on that one.
But you don't like Fang?
No, he hates Lightning.
I like Lightning. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with her? I like her arc.
It's just a moody, an even more moody version of Cloud.
Yeah, all right, then let me introduce you to Noctis.
Yeah, I was going to say, Noctis is right there.
Have you seen how moody those characters are?
I like, but that being
the only character in that game that's actually positive is Prompto.
Here's the thing though, Elliot, would you say you like 15 more than 13?
Yeah.
I agree. I also don't like the fact how linear 13 is. I know everyone's gone on about the hallways, but it really does limit how you can grind those characters.
Wording.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't think anyone wants to be grinding vanilla.
I know, as I said, I know, I realised it as I said it.
Wow, Cal, even on Pride Month, just being purely homophobic.
Can we please not have that joke in here?
Moving on, Persona 4 Remake has finally been revealed.
Actually, before we do that one, Elliot, can I ask, what's your thoughts on 16 coming to Xbox? Because you were a huge fan of Final Fantasy 16.
I don't care. I'm happy for them, but it's not really affecting me.
Yeah, that's the other thing about it as well, though. It's like, it's a little too late, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's cool that 16's on Xbox and more people are going to get to play it, but I feel like this announcement would have been a bit more of a punch if it was coming to Switch 2 as well. If it shadow dropped on Switch 2.
You're saying this is a too little, too late. Final Fantasy 7. That we've been waiting 5 years for that to come to Xbox.
At least with that one, they had the two excuses of one, the PlayStation deal, and also 7.
16 doesn't have that excuse for the PlayStation deal.
But it's also 7 is more universally beloved than 16 is. So 7 was always going to develop more of an audience off the bat than 16 was. I feel like anyone who really wanted to play 16 has played it by now. They've found a way to play it.
I'm sorry, but 7 has had a bigger time gap from being released to Xbox than 16 does, and you're more forgiving of 7.
Yeah, because 7 actually will do decent sales on Xbox. I don't know what the sales figures are going to be like for 16.
Yeah, because at least 7 has that built-in audience of nostalgia, guaranteed.
16 doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I think 16's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, because Wheel Triple reviewed it and really liked it.
Yeah, and Elliot is generally the opinion. You like 16 more than 7 Remake and 7 Rebirth, don't you?
No, 7 Remake is my favorite Final Fantasy.
Oh, 7 Remake is your favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have excellent taste then.
Yeah, well, I have one bit of defense that says how that 16 will end up getting good sales. It's a Final Fantasy game. People love Final Fantasy. They're going to buy a Final Fantasy game.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll be interested what the sales figures are going to be like when that game comes out, when we get some of those. I mean, it depends if Square Enix actually wants to release them, to be fair, because I reckon they're just going to release them as a whole. Okay, let's... Persona 4, as Elliot said, Persona 4 Remake.
Persona 4 Remake is a natural thing. It's been rumored about for ages, to the point where some of the original voice cast were asked if they were going to be in it, and they said no, they've been completely recast.
Yeah, I don't. That was a bit of a shame because Yuri Lowenthal isn't in it.
In all fairness, none of the original cast was in Persona 3 Remake either.
Yeah, that was a complete recast. But so I'll be interested what this new one is. I'll bet you somehow Ben Starr ends up playing Teddy.
That's a big joke. He's even playing Teddy or Nanako, the little girl.
Oh yes, they did that.
Please, oh my god, yeah, give her the Clive voice.
Every day.
Yeah, that's what people do on YouTube, Elliot.
Sorry,
people have done
that's what people do on YouTube. They've already done it.
Of course they have.
Every day is great at your Juness. That's
going
to be my...
First, I'm surprised we're already getting a Persona 4 remake so soon after Persona 3. But second, I want Persona 6, man.
Well, they did confirm in a press release that Persona 6 is in development.
Yeah, but we bloody hope so. It's been nearly 10 years since Persona 5.
Yeah, Persona. But yeah.
Well, how many years has it been since Royal came out?
2020. So 5 years.
Ooh.
But it's not as if we've had no good games in the meantime. We've had some great games in that gap.
Yeah.
One that I liked, but I was the only one who really liked it in our group. Well, I should say this Persona 4 trailer really just showed that this game is in very early development.
Yeah, so it mostly showed off the town and the school.
I get a sense that the only reason this trailer was in there was because it leaked, and they wanted to get ahead, and they just wanted to say, right, fuck it, it's leaked. Let's show anything, and we can be done with it. One I like the look of, but I think it was I wasn't sure about you guys. Keeper, the new game from Double Fine Studios, the October 17th, the Living Lighthouse.
Looks weird.
I know, but that's what all Double Fine games are like. These guys made Brutal Legend and Psychonauts.
Yeah. Because no, I'm really impressed by all the animation and everything. They managed to make a lighthouse look real and alive.
That's what it looks like so interesting. I'm gonna check that one out.
My only problem is though, it does just look like a walking simulator.
It does.
That's all we see the lighthouse doing.
Walking simulator with light platforming.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's like when it comes out. I mean, I like the look of Double Fine has never done me wrong yet. So final.
And they haven't done you that. Defend the RTS section of Brutal Legends.
Yeah, that's not great. I'll give you that.
Point taken.
Elliot, you really ranted though about the final trailer.
Yeah, because I was watching the trailer and I was quite interested in it for a bit because I was like, okay, it's sci-fi. There's some sci-fi stuff. I saw the woman thought, oh wait, is that like Cortana redesign or something? Then there was a weird bit with the butterfly going into the screen, and then there was like the weird, otherworldly bits of it. I was just like, wow, this looks really. Is this a new Remedy game? Like, is this on my full Control 2? This looks sick. What is it? And then it just cuts to the end. It's just Call of Duty. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a new it's Black Ops 7 because it's as if there wasn't going to be a Call of Duty game this year. I'm like, we all knew there was going to be a Call of Duty game this year. Why was this the final trailer?
First of all, I say this as a fan of like 1 and 2 and 3. Stop milking Black Ops.
Yeah.
Forget it. Black Ops is an iconic Call of Duty franchise. Move the fuck on.
But it's going to get to the point now. There's more Black Ops games than actual Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
From outside the franchise.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah. And second of all, like, that trailer was complete false advertisement.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, it was like as if it was something really big and interesting, and then next thing you know, it's just, oh no, it's Call of Duty.
I really feel like Call of Duty should have been. They should have put the Call of Duty trailer where Clockwork Revolution was, and put Clockwork Revolution at the end.
Yeah.
That would have been a much better way around it.
It's not a big game franchise. People don't know Clockwork Orange, but they know fish.
But that's the
thing. Because they'll build it up hype with Phil Spencer saying, "Oh, this is a franchise that's been with us since the beginning. It's part of our DNA and crap." And it's just Call of Duty. Anyone was expecting Halo to make a comeback.
Yeah,
when he said, "Oh, it's part of our DNA," just like, you've owned these guys for like 2 years.
Let's say.
What do you mean it's part of your DNA?
Let's say, for example, that would have been. I actually genuinely thought that was going to be a remake of Halo 1.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was going to be when they said that. And I'm like, why would you not? Why would you build it up to that?
I don't know. Max Payne? Max Payne remake has been rumored.
To be honest, part way through that trailer, I thought it was Max Payne.
I was thinking it was a Remedy game. The trailer matched Remedy so much.
Yeah, because I thought the part with that the folding city in the buildings, that could be like a hallucination from Max Payne.
Yeah.
The small snippet of gameplay they showed at the very end, for like 2 seconds, it's just standard Call of Duty point and shoot.
Yeah, nah, the thing that sort of made me think, oh, fuck, it's Call of Duty, isn't it? Was when we got into the room with all the TVs and like, that's the torture bit from Black Ops 1.
Look, I like Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, but I'm not going to play this. I have no desire to play this game. So that's
literally the only reason I would play Call of Duty is for the zombie mode. That's it.
Okay, so I would say every single one of these presentations, there was at least one announcement where we all went, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
Yeah.
But God, I'm begging for a Nintendo Direct soon because I need a really good presentation.
I need a nostalgic kick. I need to watch something that makes me scream, my childhood.
Come on, when has there been other than those early partner showcases, when has there been a really bad Nintendo Direct?
The E3 when they announced Wii Music.
That's got to go very far back for that, and also that wasn't a Nintendo Direct.
You expect me to remember every Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, to be fair, that's. But the point.
My brother in Christ. I have other priorities.
But there's one I really, really, really like. Okay, I quite like the State of Play. That one gave me a bit of hope because that one was quite good.
Yeah.
I mean,
this was better than I expected it to be. Like, it finally feels like Jeff Keighley actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Summer Games Fest was all right. The Xbox show was a real letdown.
That one was a D.
Yeah, but also with Summer Games Fest, that SOD was 2 hours long.
That's a big problem.
It dragged a lot.
There's a whole bunch of games they could have cut from that one, and it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Like all the ones that we really like, definitely don't cut those. Like keep Code Vein, keep Resident Evil, and it really ended with a great announcement of Resident Evil Retribution.
Yeah,
Requiem.
Sorry, I'm getting.
You're thinking of fucking Matrix again.
What do you think? Grade wise, State of Play, what are you giving it?
B+.
B+.
Yeah, but I give it a solid B.
I'll go with Elliot, B+. Summer Games Fest.
Standard B.
B.
I go B-.
C. Xbox Showcase.
D.
D.
C-.
No, there's one really anything outside Clockwork Revolution that excited me.
There were things that made me think, that's interesting, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So that's really all we have on those ones. I mean, do you think if there was an E3 this year that the companies would have put out something more interesting than that?
Probably not.
No.
Okay, so that's the. I kind of wonder though, with that one. I mean, the second half of the year is looking quite good at the minute. We got Ghost of Yotei, we got Ninja Gaiden 4.
We've got Digimon.
That's
not sober.
There's that Final Fantasy remake, the Final Fantasy Tactics remake. That's and of course, while we're still waiting on it, of course, the Nintendo stuff's going to get release dates for later this year. Yeah. Mafia: The Old Country's obviously got a release date. Mina the Hollow is now around, I think. So the second half of the year is starting to shape up. The thing that did bother me a little bit about all these presentations was there was a little too much of a focus on 2026. But as a whole, I think we have got a good second half of the year coming.
Yeah.
So most hyped game for the second half of the year, Elliot?
Silent Hill.
Reese?
Digimon.
I'm going to go for Metroid Prime 4, even though it hasn't got a concrete. If I'm going with non-concrete release dates, if I'm going with concrete release dates, Silent Hill F.
Even if we're not counting non-concrete release dates, I'd say Silent Hill.
So that's our thoughts on those ones. It's good talking with you guys. We'll be back next Friday. We're going to talk about Switch 2.
Yeah.
What our thoughts on the console are 2 weeks after owning it. What we thoughts on the games that we played on it. And then
we see how pregnant Calvin's gotten his Switch 2, but after his whole time fucking charge port.
Fine, funny.
I know. Thank you for the compliment.
And of course, in 2 weeks' time, we'll have Anime Amigos back.
Yeah. End of the season roundup.
Yeah. So until then, thank you much, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.